Let the team at Black Hills Information Security test your defenses. With over 10 years of experience in penetration testing, red teaming, and threat hunting, the testers at Black Hills will help you find the holes in your security before the bad guys do. The team at Black Hills cares about educating and sharing their knowledge by creating countless blogs, open source tools, and webcasts for you to learn more about the tradecraft of pen testing and red teaming. Visit securityweekly.com/BHIS to join their mailing list and view the latest blogs and webcasts from Black Hills Information Security. Keep your company and products relevant, competitive, and reliable by standardizing your security framework to protect intellectual property, become a reliable business partner, and guard financial and customer information. Standards Connect is an online standards management solution from ANSI. It's Standards Access Simplified. Standards Connect is a cost-saving, fully customizable solution for entrepreneurs and companies that spend $2,000 or more per year on standards and want to translate spend into a subscription model, want to simplify access, search, monitoring, and collaboration, or need a centralized hub of standards for multiple users at one or more locations. Get a free trial at securityweekly.com/ANSI. That's /ANSI.
Welcome back to Business Security Weekly. I am your host, Matt Alderman, joined by Paul Asadorian and Jason Albuquerque. The cloud helps app and development teams move fast, but for security operations, cloud adoption can lead to stress, tension between teams, and risk to the business. Adapting legacy workflows to cloud-first development isn't the answer. ExtraHop RevealX provides cloud-native network detection and response backed by cloud-scaled machine learning that helps you spot threats and unify processes across hybrid environments. Learn more at extrahop.com/securityweekly. That's extrahop.com/securityweekly. Security Weekly will be at Hacker Halted in Atlanta, Georgia this October 10th and 11th. EC Council is offering our listeners a $100 discount to attend the two-day conference, which we're going to review here in a minute. Use discount code HH19SW when you register, or go to securityweekly.com/hackerhalted and register there. Make sure you check out the keynote by our very own Paul Asadorian, and Mr. Jeff Mann will be there as well. Have you been trying your hardest to get a ticket to DerbyCon finish line? We know that tickets sold out almost immediately, as they do almost every year, and we have an exciting announcement. Security Weekly is giving away 7 tickets to DerbyCon. Here's what you need to do. Subscribe to the Security Weekly YouTube channel and send an email to sam@securityweekly.com with either a written or video testimonial about what security means to you. That's it. It's really that simple. First 7 people to complete this will receive a ticket to DerbyCon. You'll also be invited to participate in our Security Weekly DerbyCon interview series that Sam and Mark will be running at the conference. All right, let's get to our guest interview. We've got a double interview. Jessica Johnson is Manager, Business Development at EC Council. Over the past 5 years, Jessica has grown the conference division through her partnerships with ISSA, OWASP, ISACA, ISC Squared, and Security Weekly. Jessica is the main point of contact for sponsorship opportunities and looks forward to another successful Hacker Halted. Amber Pedroncelli is Director of Strategic Initiatives at EC Council. Amber manages EC Council's CISO program, which has 3 components: CISO events, the Certified CISO certification program, and CISO resources, a repository for white papers and articles geared toward InfoSec executives. Jessica and Amber, welcome to Business Security Weekly.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
So we're going to talk about Hacker Halted and the Global CISO Forum, which happen to be 2 events running simultaneously together, October 10th and 11th. So first, I looked at the agenda. We're going to get into some of the agenda components, but can you kind of give us an overview of the logistics for the 2 conferences?
Sure. They're both EC Council events. They happen, like you said, at the same time. They're in the same place. So basically, we have the guys in suits talking about executive level policies and other CISO kind of topics in one room. And then next door, we've got the hackers. And they'll be in their jeans and t-shirts, kind of like you would see at most hacker conferences. So they're happening at the same time. We run them both. And some of our CISOs actually like to go back and forth and hop into the hacker room every once in a while. And actually, the first couple hours or so, we're all in the same room. So the CISOs, the hackers, everybody watches the same keynotes to get everything kicked off. And we usually have a fun little video or some kind of stage show that we do in the beginning. So we're all in the same room for that. But then after that, we break up and the CISOs do their thing and the hackers do their thing.
So the cautionary thing right there that I want everybody to know, and especially Paul, is Paul, you're going to have the hackers and the CISOs watching your keynote.
Oh, I know. Content
Paul
will be
will be
tuned
great.
accordingly.
Paul would be great.
Content will be tuned accordingly.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I've experienced this firsthand, right? Number one, I am an alum of the CISO certification. I've been down to Atlanta and I've attended Hacker Halted and the CISO Summit. It's incredible. I mean, like they mentioned, you can kind of bounce back and forth, and you can go from the executive side to the practitioner side and back and forth, and it really adds a good 360-degree view of what's happening at the summit if you bounce back and forth.
Yeah, you can bounce back and forth from the CISO forum to Hacker Halted, but not Hacker Halted to the CISO forum.
Not the other way.
Not the other way around.
So the CISOs get a little more. Yeah,
we get a little more leeway.
There you go.
Yep. More
And
perks
so-
to becoming a CISO.
Right. So the first couple hours are together, like you said, and then they split apart. So if I think about the tracks, there's got to be certain tracks for the hacker side and then probably different tracks for the CISO side. What are some of the different tracks for each of the conferences? Just kind of give the audience kind of an update on, based on what they want to focus on, where should they go?
Well, so the CISOs, they stay in the same room the whole time. They don't break out into tracks. So Hacker Halted has the tracks that everyone can choose from. We have 4 running at the same time. We have pirate names for them all since we have a pirate theme this year. But we have Ahoy Matey, the human side of hacking. We have Run a Rig at Give No Quarter. That is offense. We have our defense track. And then we have our miscellaneous latest tech track running at the same time. And those are all on the Hacker Halted side. And like I said, the CISO forum, the CISOs stay in that room unless they're interested in one of the tracks, then they'll bounce out and come back in. So it's kind of like CISO is its own track.
Got it. In the topics then rotate for the CISOs through the day to cover different aspects of what they are interested in. Are there specific interesting speakers that are coming in for the CISO track that you would like to highlight? Because my guess is you get some pretty good speakers coming in.
Yeah. So I think the one that's the most kind of different from what we normally do at the CISO forum this year is Rashmi Aaron. And I don't know if you know her story, but she talks a lot about ethics, as she was involved in some ethics violations that actually got her a jail term. So she now is on the speaker circuit talking about how to build a culture of ethics, because she didn't, her story goes that she didn't at any time decide to go break the law or at any time really feel like she was going over the line, but the culture where she was working made it so that could happen with really, not a lot of premeditated thought on her side. So she talks a lot about how you build ethics into a compliance program and into your policies at work. So I'm really excited to hear from her.
And it's interesting because we were just talking about this on the previous segment. In one of the articles we were talking about is there's a 5-part series that Harvard Business Review did on trust. And when you allow the culture to allow a shift in an organization, sometimes you'll do things that cross lines. And I'm a big believer in building a level of trust in the organization. And ethics is a part of that. I mean, part of to build a trust is doing things ethically, not only within the organization, but for your customers and other things. And so I think this will be a great session, because I think sometimes based on the organizations we're in and the cultures we don't think about things like ethics and trust and maybe some of the core value systems that we should think more about in organizations.
Well, also, I think a lot of people who are security professionals that work for an organization may wrongfully assume that you've got free reign to do whatever in your organization in terms of hacking, right? I think myself and our circle, we learned early on that isn't always the case, and since then we've been educating that people get permission from their employers to do anything. Now, obviously, those circumstances are different depending on what organization you work in, and that just again, like Matt said, comes down to trust.
I think one of the most important things is, of course, EC Council is known for a certified ethical hacker certification. So, we certify information security professionals. What they do with it is to each their own, I guess you can say. But, we try to highlight
code of conduct,
right, the ethical part as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just from experiencing the CCISO program and sending a lot of my folks through the CEH or the analyst, ethics is always a piece of the curriculum. I mean, it's something that you've embedded, I think, in probably every single one of your curriculum. I mean, at least the ones I've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big part of what we do.
And I think that's good. I definitely want people to think about the ethics in the value side of what we do, because we're not, some people go after it for the financial gain. That's not why we do what we do, right? We're not going out to hack credit cards to sell them on the black web, right? That's when you cross lines that, a lot of us are here to protect our organizations, and understanding where some of those ethical lines are, I think, is really important.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's what her story is. So, she didn't think I'm going to go hack something and steal a credit card. There was never a point where she was doing something like that, but just the way you can kind of follow your own company's guidelines and sort of supplant your own values and your own judgment with whatever is allowed by your company, and then realize, I still need to bring my own ideas about what's right and wrong into my job. So I'm really, really interested in hearing her perspective.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I've had lots of discussions over the years and been in this position myself, where either the company you work for or a customer asks you to do something and you're like, no, not doing that, right? Like, you have to have your own code as well around what you'll do. And friends of mine have, left jobs, be like, look, that maybe this isn't, the place for me in its most extreme form. But I think from a relationship with your employer and or your customers, communication is key, right? And understanding why there's rules and limits and laws, and sometimes people don't understand the law, and that's a great time to bring in your legal department, right? And consult with someone who's actually an attorney, and not just speculate either.
Right.
There's a couple other ones that I'm interested in, but I wanted to any other interesting speakers coming into the CISO forum specifically? Because I looked at the list of speakers. There's some interesting topics there.
Yeah. So, I don't want to, they're all interesting, man. So, but so one that I'm really looking forward to is on the next day. That's Juan Gomez Sanchez. Juan is a good friend of our program. He's one of our stellar certified CISO trainers. He's also the CSO of Lennar in Florida. And that's a giant company. And so we're really lucky to have him on our agenda this year. And he's talking about security at the speed of business, which, Jason, I'm sure that it was really drilled into you during the CCISO training about how security has to align with business. And that's kind of one of the main topics it hits over and over, especially that domain 5. And Juan helped us develop some of our curriculum. So he's talking about, aligning your security program with business and how to make it agile enough to support the business instead of always, saying, no, that's not secure, we can't do that. So I really enjoy hearing him speak. He's always very engaging with the audience and full of good ideas and so much great experience.
Yep.
Also,
absolutely dead on. I mean, the CCISO program reinforces that the fact that security needs to be seen as a business enabler, right? Use it as a competitive advantage, become a business enabler, and don't be viewed within the organization as a roadblock, right? Be there to enable your business and be successful in your business.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about that on this show and the previous show, Application Security Weekly, because we're seeing the change at the speed of things getting done, right? And security has to be there with the business to support them and not that roadblock. That was the other one I picked out, so I'm glad you covered it. Because I think this is a really important topic for our industry, is how does security embed itself into these new processes around DevOps, as the business is pushing innovation through new application development? How do we stop being the department of no? So I think this is just a great topic for others to learn from.
Well, and I don't want people to get confused and think that you can't say no either. I think the pendulum swings in both directions, right? We need to find a balance. I think too often in years past, we've been the department of no, but I don't want us to go completely in the other way and just, accept everything, because there are some circumstances where sometimes you got to put your foot down and say no. You got to have some good reasons, though, right? As to why something can't go at all versus go with some security protections. I think there's a big difference.
Absolutely. I mean, we just touched upon it, ethical or legal reasons, right?
Yeah, big reason to say no.
At the end of the day, we need to be mature enough in our leadership skills to be able to make the case and say, here's why we cannot do this way.
Yeah.
Maybe if we take this different road, this different path, this different strategy, maybe we can accomplish the same goal, but it's not down the road that we're talking about right now.
If it involves Adobe Flash, I mean, the answer is just going to be no, okay? Like, there are just certain things where it's just no. There's no securing it.
We're done. Yeah, they're funny. So those are some of the highlights from the Global CISO Forum. We're actually going to be there. We're going to do some recording. So anybody who's attending, we're going to do some interesting interview segments because I love to get feedback from the CISO community directly. Anything else on the CISO Forum before we go back over to Hacker Halted? I wanted to touch on a couple things over there.
I mean, the whole agenda at CISO Forum is interesting to me, but I think that we've covered the two that I'm most excited to see. We've got Ben Halpert, who is a local CISO, who has also done some really great CISO training for us. He's on day one, so yeah, I'm interested to see him as well. But yeah, let's talk Hacker Halted.
Yeah, so they start together. Paul gives his keynote. No, can't give that away.
No spoilers.
We're fine with that. No spoilers,
No
for that one. And then we've got the first day and then the second day. Any interesting other speakers coming into Hacker Halted besides our very own Paul that you want to highlight on the Hacker Halted side?
I'd like to highlight Jenny Radcliffe. Jenny, number one, to just kind of throw in, I'm really proud that we have a lot of women on our agenda for both sides, Global CISO Forum and Hacker Halted this year. We try to show the love to our women community. We all know women in IT is such a small group. Narrow that down to security gets even smaller. With the help of IBM sponsors all women to get into our conference for free. So plugging IBM in, if you haven't seen their code go out, take a look for it. There's some press releases and stuff on it. But Jenny, she's a social engineering guru. I guess that's really how I can narrow her down. And she has not really been to the States to give keynotes. She does a lot of international conferences. So the fact that she's chosen one of ours to be at this year is a huge points for me. I mean, I love her. I follow her personally. And the fact that she chose Hacker Halted to be at this year is phenomenal. And, she's just one of the many. Marcel Lee is another one that we have on the agenda. She also sits on our speaker committee. And then, we have Paul, we have Jeff from Security Weekly, and just a really great group of people in the security community. We're getting some really heavy hitters to Hacker Halted, and they see our conference as a legit conference to be at this year.
Yeah, you have Ian Coldwater coming in. She's spoken at DerbyCon a number of years. I interviewed her last year at DerbyCon, and I saw her at KubeCon too. She's all over the place. I don't know how she does
everywhere.
it.
Yeah,
she is.
Yeah, and I want to shout out to our amazing speaker committee, specifically Joe Gray. Joe got us Jenny this year, but they've all done a great job. Marcel pulled a bunch of names for us as well. Our speaker committee has just every year been great at getting our name out there and helping us keep our speaker lineup up where it needs to be and keep it current.
That's great. Any extracurricular activities we should know about?
Yes. So as you know, in the 4 days, or if you don't know, in the 4 days before Hacker Halted, we do run boot camps of our most popular certification courses. This year, we've thrown in some workshops. EC Council has what we call our Storm. It's a mobile security pen testing toolkit. We'll be doing one-day workshops utilizing the Storm on ethical hacking and intrusion analysis. We also have just added a drone hacking workshop into the mix. EC Council partnered with Drone Wars at DEF CON last week, the week before, whenever DEF CON was. And we had, me personally, I always thought drones were cool, but I didn't really think of the actual technical aspect to the drones and how you can hack them. And in talking to one of the Drone Wars founders, he will be running a workshop at the event. Of course, we have exhibiting, so tons of exhibitors giving out swag, promoting their products and services within the industry. We also have a CTF game going on. That has not been announced yet, so I can't disclose the sponsor, but there will be a CTF game on site. But just a really great event. I mean, 2 days of networking, that's really what we're all there to do. Breakout sessions, live hacking demos, phenomenal keynotes, an exhibiting floor, and just the opportunity to hear of what's going on in the industry.
That's great. You'll have a full Security Weekly crew down there in Atlanta as well, because
Yes.
I think we're going to do recordings both at the Global CISO Forum as well as Hacker Halted. So we'll have a busy
Correct.
week, a busy couple days down there.
Yeah. Bring your Red Bull.
Paul's going to bring his cigars, and we'll figure out the rest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any last closing thoughts?
No, you'll be seeing some carousel people there at Hacker Hall, actually training as well. I'm sending one of my senior managers down for training, and then he'll be at Hacker Halted.
Nice. Great. We'll have to give them some VIP treatment.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I wanted to shout out again. I said Joe Gray. He's also on the agenda. He's on our speaker committee, but he'll be talking about the 7 habits of highly effective adversaries. So go and see Joe during his talk. He's all over the place, but he says he has something special just for Hacker Halted this year. We also have a theme of fear, changing the paradigm by Keith Turpin. And I believe this is Keith's first time on our agenda. So I'm excited to see him always adding in people that we haven't seen before is exciting. So I like to see that. And then Marcelle Gray, she'll be talking about hacking diversity, which, like Jessica mentioned, is an important topic in technology and security. So those are my must-sees on day one, at least.
Got it. So it's going to be a jam-packed 2 days. Jessica, Amber, thank you for joining us on Business
Thank you,
Security
guys.
Weekly.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If anyone wants to learn more or register for either event, you can visit securityweekly.com/Hacker Halted. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week on Business Security Weekly.